Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Saint Struggle. My name is Manxman Matt, and this is the save that I've had. It's now the third club I've had in this save. I started off at Chelsea, been to Aston Villa, and now we're at Southampton. Um, let's take you through how we've gone since the last episode where we lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace. So, as you can see, form's picked up a little bit. We lost 4-0 to Liverpool. I'm going to show you some things from that game in there. We beat Wolves 2-0 at home. We then lost away 3-0 away to Spurs. Then beat Ipswich 1-0 at home. And that's been all of the games since the last episode. I'll just quickly show you the Premier Division. Sorry, the Premier League. I don't know why I'm calling it. So, as you can see, the top three is going to stay the same by the looks of that, is it? Yeah, or certainly the top three have all qualified now for the Champions League, and Chelsea are at least finishing sixth. If you look down to where we are, you can see that Ipswich are already relegated. You've then got just 1 point below between us and Swansea. I was saying that I wanted to finish eighth or ninth. To finish ninth now, I would have to get 10 more points than Bournemouth from these last four games. That's not happening. To be honest with you, we're not finishing. We might finish above Brighton and Burnley if we're lucky. Watford or no. If we're lucky, we'll finish above Watford. We won't be finishing above Wolves or Stoke. 13th is the highest, and that's if we win all of our remaining games realistically, which isn't going to happen. So we've got Derby County in today's game, which is going to be a struggle. And I'm not having the best of time. I'm just going to take you through a couple of screenshots that I've taken within those uh, whilst I've been playing those four games. So the first screenshot I want to show you is this half time in the Liverpool game. Now I had a bit of a whinge about all media outlets being Liverpool fan heavy and all games sort of supporting Liverpool. The only time I've ever seen three green thumbs up in the team analysis there is in this game against Liverpool. Bearing in mind that we were 3-0 down to Arsenal at half time, they still had a red thumbs down on theirs. In this one, they've given Liverpool three big thumbs up. There's nothing wrong with Liverpool's performance. They've had 21 shots, just 8 on target. They've had 64% possession, and they're 1-0 up. Yet they are wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with their performance. It's just another little thing that most people probably wouldn't even pick up on, but it's just one extra thing that I've got that annoys me about the way Liverpool are always portrayed on FM. Also, at half time in a game, Luan's got 100% pass completion. You don't see that ever on Football Manager, especially not a centre attacking midfielder who's supposed to be in the final third playing against a defensive midfielder and three centre backs. It just doesn't happen. So it's just another mini rant about Liverpool and how the universe seems to love them, even though they're not the greatest club in the world that they think they are. And just a quick one to show you. The final score obviously was 4-0. Look at those amount of shots. 38 shots and 13 on target, 62% possession. Those stats are unheard of. Normally, if you get a game that's that one-sided, the team with the least shots comes out with either a draw or a win, and you get really frustrated because it's your team that has all those stats. I'm not going to take anything away from Liverpool. Their performance was fantastic, and we are not nowhere near in their quality. So I was expecting a 4-0 win, but to have the stats like that, bearing in mind the stats have not been like that in any other game that we've had. I think the most shots against us we've had was 21 before this, and that was Manchester City. So to have stats like that is a little bit ridiculous and a little bit far fetched. I know Liverpool aren't top of the league or anything, but I think Football Manager is massively supporting them and trying to get you to play as Liverpool, maybe, or just to make Liverpool fans happy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being an idiot, and maybe I should shut up and deal with the fact that Liverpool are a bigger club than I think they are. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, what they've been in the Champions League twice in the last 10 years, so that puts them on a similar level to Spurs or to, let's just try and think in terms of other leagues, teams like Valencia, who were, big clubs at one time or another, but for the last 10 years haven't really been up there. I don't think the current Liverpool squad is the best in the world. In this game, they haven't got Virgil van Dijk, who I think is overrated in the real world, but maybe not. Maybe he is as good as, he's certainly not worth £75 million, but yeah, um, I think this Liverpool squad on this game is weaker than the Liverpool squad in real life, and they're putting performances in like that. Anyway, let's stop talking about the Liverpool game. We then had this notification. I can't remember whether it was after the Liverpool game or the following game, but I was touted for being on the verge of the sack. They were saying, oh, it was before the Ipswich game. There you go. So they were saying with a bad result, I would be I would be sacked. Luckily, we then won the Ipswich game. But I'm obviously, as I said in the last episode, they are thinking about getting rid of me and bringing someone else in. And then the next one I want to show you again before this game coming up, before the Derby game, we've got another one of these saying basically if I don't beat Derby, I'm probably going to be sacked. So with all that in mind, let's have a look at the team that we're going to be using in today's game. So I'm now pretty committed to using this formation now to the end of the season. Um, sorry, this is the defensive version. So I'll just flick things about a little bit. But we're committed to using five at the back now till the end of the season, which is a little concerning because we've not got enough centre backs. Yoshida's injured, so we're down to just three centre backs. I've made some signings for next season, and I've also let some players go at the end of this season. So if we manage to stay at the club, hopefully we'll have a stronger squad next season. And I'll probably change up the formation. I'm not particularly liking the five at the back, but it was kind of what we had to do. It was what the previous manager had been doing. I know I've changed it from taking the wingers out, but the wingers just weren't working, so I didn't really have a choice to do anything other than that. So the team that we're going to use today against Derby, who, as I said at the end of last season, I could have taken over Derby. Derby won the league, and I finished mid-table with Aston Villa. So really, for my own personal benefit, I want to win this game. Whether I can or not is a totally different matter. So we've got Fraser Forster in goal, Harry Maguire, Gary Cahill, and Clement Lenglet as the three centre backs. We've got Cedric and Gerhardt as the left and right wing back. We've got Oriol Romeu and Mario Lemina as our central midfielders. And we then have Dusan Tadic playing behind Jackson Martinez and Lucas Prato. I'm not sure whether Prato is going to stay. In fact, I'm not. Prato, I think he's got one goal, and I think Charlie Austin's got one goal. I'm going to start Charlie Austin there. I know he's not very good at being a complete forward, but he's had a couple of okay games there. And at the end of the day, he's a proper striker, whereas Prato is a winger. Prato is a good option to bring on. I could bring on either him or Boufal along with Oxlade-Chamberlain and go to a wingers, or even just bring one of those on for one of the strikers and go back to the wide formation if Derby look like they're not very good down the wings but have got quite a tight central line. I just want to stick to the formation that we've been playing now for the last few games. I know we've been winning at home, and well, we've certainly won our last two home games, but we've not won away from home yet, and we really need a win from this Derby game, especially because I think if we win this, Derby are relegated. So we need to make sure that there's no chance. I think there's only Newcastle above them in the relegation zone, and they are something like 6 points behind us. If we can win today and Newcastle lose, then we just need one more point to be safe. Safe probably isn't enough, but it's going to be enough for me to be satisfied. Especially with the way that everything's going. Let's get into the game anyway. So, for those of you interested, that's the Derby team. I believe we played them last season, and the team was fairly similar. I know they brought in Zabaleta. Um, is that Martin Olsen at left back that used to be at West Brom or Norwich, somewhere like that? Nicholas Bentner is up front with Joslu. It's Joe Ledley in midfield. There's a few sort of well-known faces. Scott Carson there is obviously ex-Liverpool. You've already heard my opinion on Liverpool. Please see any of the other videos I do. Sorry to any Liverpool fans, or alternatively, you can just take the piss out of the fact that I'm absolutely shit at this game. So yeah, that's what Michael Carrick thinks we should do. Who am I to argue with Michael Carrick? He's got far more knowledge about football than I have. So let's get into the game and see if we can get the 3 points that we really need to push on in this league and just stay in this league. Tadic has got the ball out to Gerhardt. Tadic has got it again out to Cedric. Cedric swings the ball into Martinez and he's hit it into the side net, and that's disappointing. Another one of ours. Into Tadic, across to Gerhardt. Romeo out to Gerhardt again. Tadic again. To Lamina, back to Tadic. Lost the ball though. Well cut out by Lenglet. Building again from the centre. Out to Cedric. Cedric crossed the ball into Charlie Austin, who just heads it over the goal like a muppet. First highlight for the derby. I bet you it's a goal. And it fucking well is, isn't it? Davies has scored. I don't understand what we can do from corners. So Joselu drills it across and Davies puts it in the net. That's really disappointing. We've had the better of everything and it hasn't meant a goddamn thing. Both of our strikers have had headers that they should have scored. Both of them have missed it, and then we concede from fucking corner. I'm taking Charlie Austin off. His chance was better than the other, and I wasn't even sure whether to start with him anyway. So Prato can come on, and we'll close our eyes and hope for the best, because we've got sod all else we can do. Ball's coming in, lost straight away, given the ball away, won back by Cahill, but lost again. Oh no, sorry, it's Gerhardt. Gerhardt is going to be sent off, and that's going to be the end, probably, of my Southampton career. Well, we're going four at the back, but what else can I do? I can't go to wingers now. We need at least two players in central midfield, so that's out of the question. Apparently, Lamena's been playing crap, but what are we supposed to do? I don't have Derm to bring on for Cedric, who's on the yellow card. I guess I need to bring Romeo off in case, because he's carded and nobody's playing well. Sod it, let's have a team of bloody playmakers and see if we can knock the bloody ball around. Let's retain the possession, be expressive, work the ball into the box, and see if we can just push on. We might as well go control for now, and then push on and go attacking in a bit. But I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be the last episode of this series. It might even be the last episode of the save if that happens. So Prato's got the ball back to Lenglet, Classy, Tadic. Tadic forward to Martinez. Cedric's now got the ball. Martinez has scored! Get in there! Christ. Right, back on it now. That's dragged us up to 14th position in the league as well, just with a draw. Imagine where we could go if we can win this game. Martinez, what a ball. So Cedric, who I think has probably got more assists than any player since I've been at the club, down that right hand side, he's got forward well, swings the ball into the near post, and we'll go 1-0 up. Sorry, we don't go 1-0 up, we're 1-1. What am I talking about? Another corner from them. Davies has got it back to Russell. Well shepherded wide. Russell's got it again. Joe Ledley, Martin Olsen. Russell's got it. Well cut out by Maguire. Across to Lawrence, who it looks like hit the post, and Fraser Forster's got it. Right, clear it. Jody Classy with the ball in. Oh, straight to Scott Carson. Right, there's about 15 minutes left with added time. Let's. What are we going to do? Nobody's having the best game in the world. James Ward-Prowse. Let's just shore up the midfield just a little bit. Leave everybody as a playmaker, but just make toward Prowse sit a little bit deeper. I know it leaves a big space between our strikers and anything else, but yeah, I think that's probably best. We definitely don't want to lose this game, but we can't afford to do anything other than win it, really. Stay playing as we are, and let's see how that goes. Oh, come on, we just need something from this. We need one chance. Give it to give it to Martinez, give it to Prato. Just let us have a bloody chance, right? They've got a corner, and Johnny Russell has put it wide. Thank God for that. End of game highlight coming up. Olsen throws the ball in, and that's the end of the game. A 1-1 draw against Derby is not exactly what we needed, but hopefully that's moved us up the table. I wonder. The reason we moved up the table is because nobody else is playing, so we need to find out how everybody else does if I haven't already been sacked. So I've not been sacked yet. 1-1 against Derby. Gerhardt is banned for one match. Let's just check that it wasn't him that got sent off earlier in the season. 4 yellows and a red, and he's only been in 10 games. Let's issue him a warning for now, but certainly he might. And then, yeah, we've got a load. We lost control of our players in that game, whatever that means. Jordy Classy's now played 50 games for Southampton. Not that anybody cares. Right, I'm just going to quickly go ahead, find out how everybody else does in their games this weekend, and then we'll have a look at where we are in the Premier League before the Chelsea game. Right, so all the weekend's fixtures are done now. Brighton were playing on the Monday night, so I just skipped on to Tuesday just to see how everybody did. Cedric got in the team of the week, but I really couldn't give a flying monkeys about that. This is what I care about, and we've actually moved up above Brighton. I know Swansea have got a game in hand of us, but we were 17th before this weekend. I assume Swansea and Bournemouth were playing Man City and Liverpool, who were in an FA Cup tie, I believe. Certainly, there were FA Cup ties going on, I think semi-finals. I wasn't really paying attention, to be perfectly honest with you, but it looks like United, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Swansea have all got games in hand. Bournemouth, well, Wolves and Swansea. Certainly, some of those teams weren't in action this weekend, so we really need to find out where we are when everybody's on the same amount of games. But for now, we're 15th. We've got 3 games left at the end of this season. As I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to play Chelsea because that's where we started. So I'll play the Newcastle and Brighton games offline, and then I'll bring you back for the end of the season at Chelsea, and then we'll see whether the board fire me or not. I've got a sneaky suspicion that I may well be fired. However, Newcastle will blow us in the table, as are Brighton, if we can get 2 wins from and that's a massive if. But if we can certainly at least get points from both of those games, that would certainly help us along. Bearing in mind, since I joined the club, which was for that first derby game on the 5th of January, we have got 1 point away from home against West Brom and 1 point away from home against Derby. So that was our 2nd point away from home since I've been at the club. At home against Newcastle, depending on how much, I mean, they've really got to scrap now. They have to. I mean, what are they on? So they've got 3 games left. So if they get 9 points from it, if they win all their games, Burnley, us, Brighton, and Swansea are in the relegation battle. If they don't win all 3 games that they've got, it cuts down to just Brighton and Swansea, or just Swansea. So they've really got to fight for it. So if we can get any points off Newcastle, hopefully we'll save ourselves, and we'll also make it so that Brighton aren't fighting for points at the end of the season, and then we can try and push on for that 13th position, because there's no way we're finishing any higher than that. But if we could finish above Watford, that would be a nice way to end the season, and maybe just about appease the board and call that mid-table. I don't know what they're calling mid-table. They just said mid-table. So we'll see how things go. Anyway, I'm sorry for the massive rambly episode. I'm sure this is probably twice the length of most of the episodes I do. So sorry about that. But I just like having rants every now and again, and you'll find that things that a lot of people like are generally the things I rant about. I don't like Barcelona or the way that Pep Guardiola plays football. Don't like tiki taka at all. It's just boring. No one wants to see a team walk the ball into the box. Just hit the ball every now and again, you idiots. But yeah, and obviously Liverpool are a bit of a contentious point. I've basically hated them ever since Luis Garcia and that incident, and then all of the cheating scumbag shittery that they did to us in the Champions League back in the mid 2000s when we were fighting with them. Sorry, I've just done it again. Sorry for the extra long episode. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like. If you want to find out whether I get sacked or not, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel to make sure that you get the notifications for the next video that comes out. And thank you very much for watching.